Martial law. Sounds intense, right? It is. Basically, it's like hitting the pause button on a country's regular laws and letting the military run things. Think of it like your parents saying, "That's it, we're taking away the video games." Except instead of video games, it's your freedoms, and instead of your parents, it's, well, soldiers with guns. Now, why would a country do this? Imagine a house party gone very, very wrong. Things are out of control, the neighbors are freaking out, and someone's probably called the cops. Martial law is like calling in the National Guard to that party. It's a last resort, a way to try and stop chaos when everything else has failed. Historically, martial law has popped up during wars, natural disasters, or times of serious unrest. It's like a pressure valve, a way for governments to say, we need to regain control, and this is how we're going to do it. But like that house party, it's not a sustainable solution. Eventually, someone's got to clean up the mess and figure out how to prevent it from happening again. So, when do governments decide to push the big red martial law button? Think of it like a fire alarm. You don't pull it because you burnt toast. You pull it when there's a real danger. Governments usually declare martial law when they believe there's a serious threat to public safety. Imagine a massive earthquake just hit a major city. Buildings are down, people are trapped, and there's looting and violence in the streets. The regular police are overwhelmed. That's when the military might step in to restore order, distribute aid, and prevent things from spiraling further out of control. Political unrest is another big one. Remember those protests that toppled dictators during the Arab Spring? Some of those governments responded with martial law, trying to cling to power by using the military to silence dissent. It's a blunt instrument, often used when leaders are more interested in self-preservation than protecting their people. Speaking of political unrest, remember what happened recently in South Korea? Things got a little too real, a little too fast. The country's president, let's call him Kim, was accused of some shady dealings like corruption and abusing his power. People were not happy. Protests erupted. It was giving major "we're mad and we're not going to take it anymore" vibes. Then, bam! Out of nowhere, martial law. Troops were mobilized, curfews were imposed, and the whole country was put on edge. It was like someone hit the fast-forward button on the political drama. But here's the plot twist. Almost as quickly as it was declared, martial law was lifted just like that. The government, perhaps realizing they overreacted, pulled the troops back and tried to act like nothing happened. Awkward. The whole thing left everyone scratching their heads. Why declare martial law if you're just going to reverse it a day later? Was it a show of force? A desperate attempt to control the narrative? Or did someone just accidentally spill coffee on the martial law button? We may never know. But it definitely highlights how volatile and unpredictable situations can be. So, we've established that martial law is a big deal. But what does it actually mean for ordinary people? Well, imagine waking up one morning and the streets are patrolled by soldiers instead of police. You might have a curfew, limiting when you can leave your home. Public gatherings, forget about it. Suddenly, your freedom of movement, assembly, and even speech can be restricted. And it's not just about personal freedoms. Remember, the economy runs on stability and predictability. Martial law throws a giant wrench into that machine. Investors get spooked, businesses shut down, and the value of your currency could plummet faster than your chances of getting a date on a Friday night. The South Korean situation, though brief, sent shockwaves through the global economy. It was a stark reminder that political instability anywhere can have economic consequences everywhere. In a world that's increasingly interconnected, understanding the implications of martial law and the events that lead to it is more important than ever.